Assalamu alaikum. You know, as I thought, why are we gathered here today? In the first decade of this 21st century, why do we have to come and say to a regime that's illicit, that's murderous, that you do not have a right to kill your people? Why do we have to do that?
Freedom.
Freedom. Democracy. And what is the role that we as the Canadian government have to play? We have to stop hiding our head in the sand. We have to stop pretending that we don't know what that Assad regime is all about. Because we do know. We know very intimately in this country because of the rendition of Mahar Arar and the subsequent torture of Mahar Arar in one of those Assad prisons. We know that. Our Canadian government knows that. Our courts have made findings that they torture and kill people. So no more hiding. I'm saying to the Prime Minister Harper, the election's over. Speak up. Take action. We have to speak out. Earlier this week, the NDP, my party, issued a statement calling on the federal government to speak out. We're calling now very clearly on the government to say to the United Nations, start the investigation. Get us to the point where Assad and his brother and the rest of the regime are brought before the International Criminal Court for charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity. We're saying to the Canadian government, cooperate with the European Union in the boycott, the economic boycott of the Assad regime. We're saying to the Canadian government, seize the assets that are in Canada of the regime, of the Assad regime. Seize them and take those dollars away from them. Do that. Those are at the very least we can do. You know, there's blood on our hands in Canada because we know we've cooperated with that regime in the past. And that cooperation is a sign from this government, yes, and from the United States government because of the cooperation that they've given to Assad and his I'm going to say butchers, the rest of his regime. That cooperation is a clear sign that we, Mr. Assad, his brother, his cousin, the rest of that brutal regime, we don't have to worry about the international community. They'll just look the other way and they'll let us get away with murdering our own people. That's the message that we sent to them up to this point. We have to turn that message around. And we have to bring them to justice. We have to get them out of government, out of controlling Syria, let democracy blossom in Syria. That's clearly what the people of Syria want. But that's not going to be just enough. 850 people killed at the very least, and probably many more. Thousands more tortured and injured. Those are war crimes. Those are crimes against humanity. And the message has to be to that type of a regime, you're not going to get away with it anymore. We're going to bring you to justice. Let me pledge to you on behalf of my party, we are going to continue this push over the next couple of weeks, but as soon as Parliament gets back, this will be one of the issues on the floor of our Parliament. We will be demanding action by the Canadian government.